No time for cowards. Africa's youth and the revolution of minds. This is not the time for cowards who die 1,000 deaths through silence. If we falter today, our children and their children will pay the price of our cowardice. We must speak out, bear the consequences, and act now. Look at Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, a beacon of hope who has survived multiple assassination attempts. Why? Because when you do good, those who thrive on chaos will try to silence you. Samora Machel, Mozambique's revolutionary leader, once warned, when former colonizers praise you as good, pause and ask, what evil am I committing against? To respective my people, Africa will never reap the rewards of true governance until we reject systems imposed by our colonizers. I hesitate to call what we practice democracy. What does it mean in our context? Historian John Henrik Clarke argued that when African nations gained independence, none adopted governance rooted in African traditions. Instead, we inherited frameworks from our colonizers. Systems Clarke said would never lead to success. I couldn't agree more. Look at Africa today, Sudan in chaos, Somalia fragmented, the Democratic Republic of Congo DRC ravaged by conflict, and the Sahel Guinea, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Gabon marked by coups led by leaders like Mamadi Doumbouya, Abdourahmane Chiani, Assimi Goïta, Ibrahim Traoré, and Brice Oligui Nguema. These upheavals signal a rejection of failing systems. While Botswana and Namibia hold successful elections, they are outliers in a continent grappling with imported governance models. We must interrogate this so-called democracy. In Kenya, don't judge leaders by their polished Nairobi speeches. Listen to them at funerals, speaking in their mother tongues Luo, Luhya, Kamba, Kikuyu when their true selves emerge. Political parties mean little. Loyalties shift like sands. No presidential candidate stays in the same party after 5 years. As I've said, the forest changes, but the monkey's habits remain. Repeating the same actions and expecting change is folly. We see recycled faces in power former members of Moi's, Kibaki's, and Uhuru's governments now posing as opposition. What's new? Nothing but their greed for power and privilege. I've witnessed this cycle since the 1980s. Through the 1990s constitutional reform movement, as a member of the Law Society of Kenya, Kenyans elect individuals who, elsewhere, would be unelectable comedians who turn the palace into a circus. As Einstein might have quipped, we boast of a beautiful constitution, but what's its value if we honor it in breach in 1967? Tanzania's Julius Nyerere was asked the secret to development. He replied, action. Endless meetings and workshops achieve nothing without action. When will we have our road to Damascus moment, like Saul of Tarsus, and change? Are we ready to do what is right? I helped draft the Boma's Constitution, recommending Nairobi not be a county and limiting counties to 1418. Instead, we created 47 counties, each with governors acting like mini-presidents. Compare this to the United States 50 states, 23 trillion GDP, Nigeria 36 states, India 28 states, China 23 provinces, or South Africa 9 provinces. Kenya's 47 counties, with governors, deputy governors, speakers, and deputy speakers, consume billions while raising mere millions. A county raising 400 million shillings annually but spending 2 billion cannot grow. No matter how much we pray, our leaders are unmoved by corruption. Accuse someone of graft, and a mob escorts them to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, only for them to hold a press conference afterward. Corruption is Kenya's most profitable business. Leaders whose salaries couldn't buy half an acre in 1,000 years are multi-billionaires, with no inventions or lotteries to explain their wealth. Yet we celebrate them, electing them to office. Growing up in Maringo, Jericho, and Isiolo County, I visited dispensaries with medicine. Today, only the suicidal go there. Our leaders deliver babies in the U, seek treatment in Europe, and ignore our crumbling hospitals. Police officers reportedly collect 3 billion shillings in bribes monthly, and we remain silent. Young Kenyans, the task is yours. Will you remain divided as Luo, Luhya, Kamba, or Kikuyu, or unite as Kenyans, with tribe reserved for cultural pride? Samora Machel said, for the new African nation to thrive, the tribe must die. Tribalism cannot guide our decisions. Voting for someone because they're one of us, or paid 200 shillings betrays our future. Our parliament, the best paid relative to GDP globally, craves more taxes, and the Constituency Development Fund CDF, not to serve, but to enrich themselves. Ask MPs and MCAs how they become millionaires within 2 years, trading with counties through proxies, drivers, relatives, house helps. The courts declared CDF unconstitutional, yet they push to entrench it. They think we have the memory of a mosquito. The time for cowardice is over. On April 29, 25. 6 Kenyans were killed in cold blood, and impunity will likely prevail. A culture of lawlessness has taken root. When we speak of democracy, what do we mean? It's not true that democracy began in Greece or was defined solely by Abraham Lincoln's government of the people. By the people, for the people. In 1235, the Mandi people of West Africa established the Mandan Charter, a governance system predating the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. African kingdoms thrived with order and justice. Yet today, we practice a neo-colonial democracy bequeathed by colonizers. In Kenya, we mimic the British in Francophone Africa, the French in Lusophone Africa, the Portuguese. Our MPs address Mr. Speaker, Sir, mimicking Westminster, while speakers and judges wear woolen robes and wigs from medieval Europe, calling it honor. Leaders demand titles like His Excellency or Right Honorable, relics of a bygone era. Until we exercise this mimicry, we're going nowhere. Young Africans, go to Kibera, Kawangware, and Kobangi. Change minds. Growing up in Jericho, we didn't care if a friend was Kikuyu or Luhya, only later did we learn to divide. The Greeks categorized people as idiots, tribalists, and citizens, idiots, even with PhDs, dodge civic duty, buying four-wheel drives for potholed roads or hiring foreign security firms like G4S. Tribalists believe safety lies with their ethnic group, chanting, "My thief is ours." Citizens see their country as belonging to all, demanding good roads, schools, and security, rejecting modern slavery, exporting youth to Myanmar or the Arab world. Be citizens of your nation. East Africa, Africa, and the world remind leaders they're not invincible. Mobutu Sese Seko fell in the DRC, Bokassa in the Central African Republic, Bongo in Gabon, Duvalier in Haiti, Assad in Syria. Power is fleeting. Our parliamentarians and governors act larger than life. But their time will come. Patriotic education. Reclaiming African identity. Patriotic education, as championed by Captain Ibrahim Traoré, is a revolutionary approach to reorienting African youth toward their cultural heritage, national pride, and collective responsibility. Unlike traditional education systems, which often prioritize rote learning and colonial narratives, patriotic education seeks to liberate minds from mental colonization. It teaches students to value their African identity, understand their continent's contributions to global civilization, and reject inferiority complexes imposed by centuries of exploitation. In Burkina Faso, Traoré has introduced compulsory military and civic training for university students, a policy that exemplifies patriotic education. This isn't about militarizing youth, but instilling discipline, unity, and mental resilience. Students learn African history, the empires of Mali, Songhai, and Great Zimbabwe, which rivaled Europe's medieval kingdoms. They study leaders like Queen Nzinga, Shaka Zulu, and Thomas Sankara, whose defiance shaped Africa's legacy. Civic education emphasizes values like integrity, community service, and accountability, countering the corruption that plagues many African nations. Patriotic education also reconnects youth with their cultural roots. In Burkina Faso, students visit museums to learn about the Mossi kingdoms and the Mandan Charter, fostering pride in pre-colonial governance systems. They engage in practical tasks, tree planting, gardening, community cleanups that build a sense of ownership over their environment. For Traoré, education must produce citizens who love their nation enough to defend it, not just with arms, but with innovation, hard work, and ethical leadership. This approach addresses a critical gap colonial education systems alienated Africans from their heritage, teaching them to admire European history while dismissing their own. In Kenya, for example, students learn more about the Magna Carta than the Gikuyu's democratic councils or the Luo's communal governance. Patriotic education reverses this, empowering youth to see themselves as heirs to a rich legacy, capable of shaping a sovereign future. The impact is profound. In Burkina Faso, students who once felt directionless now speak of building their nation with pride. Young women, trained alongside men, break gender stereotypes, becoming engineers, farmers, and leaders. By fostering a generation that prioritizes national interest over personal gain, patriotic education reduces the allure of corruption and foreign dependency. It's a blueprint for Africa, aligning with the African Union's Agenda 2063 vision of a self-reliant continent. Comparing African leaders, visionaries versus puppets. To appreciate Traoré's impact, let's compare him with other African leaders, past and present, who have shaped the continent's trajectory. Africa has produced visionaries who defied colonial and neo-colonial systems, but also puppets who perpetuated exploitation. These contrasts highlight why Traoré stands out. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana. Nkrumah, Ghana's first president, was a Pan-Africanist who championed unity and industrialization. His vision for a United States of Africa inspired generations. But his focus on rapid modernization led to economic challenges, and he was overthrown in a CIA-backed coup in 1966. Like Traoré, Nkrumah prioritized education and self-reliance. But Traoré's grassroots approach, empowering youth through practical training, avoids Nkrumah's top-down pitfalls. Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso Traoré's predecessor. Sankara is his closest parallel. From 1983 to 1987, Sankara transformed Burkina Faso through land reform, women's empowerment, and anti-imperialist policies. He built schools, vaccinated millions, and rejected foreign aid. However, his radical reforms alienated elites, leading to his assassination. Traoré builds on Sankara's legacy, but with a strategic edge, balancing military strength with inclusive education to consolidate public support. Julius Nyerere, Tanzania. Nyerere's Ujamaa policy aimed for self-reliance through communal agriculture, and his emphasis on Swahili unified Tanzania's diverse ethnic groups. While visionary, Ujamaa's economic failures highlight the need for practical execution. Traoré's focus on tangible outcomes, state-owned construction equipment, trained youth complements Nyerere's idealism with pragmatism. Mobutu Sese Seko DRC. In contrast, Mobutu represents the puppet leader, backed by Western powers. He looted Zaire's vast resources for personal gain, leaving the nation impoverished. His regime contrasts sharply with Traoré's, which cancels corrupt contracts and invests in local capacity. Mobutu's fall in 1997 shows the fate of leaders who betray their people. Contemporary leaders. Many current African leaders, like some in Kenya or the DRC, prioritize power over progress, aligning with foreign interests to secure wealth. In contrast, Sahel leaders like Mali's Assimi Goïta and Niger's Abdourahmane Chiani share Traoré's anti-imperialist stance, expelling foreign troops and reclaiming resources. However, their focus on security over education lags behind Traoré's holistic vision, which combines military training with cultural and economic empowerment. Traoré stands out for his youth, born 1988. Humility and action-oriented leadership. Unlike leaders who deliver speeches without results, he has canceled overpriced tenders, purchased 1,000+ construction machines, and trained youth to build roads, schools, and factories. His compulsory military training fosters discipline, while his elite schools aim to retain talent, preventing brain drain. Traoré's ability to inspire while delivering measurable change makes him a modern Sankara, tailored for today's challenges. In praise of Ibrahim Traoré, a prophet of African liberation, Captain Ibrahim Traoré is more than a leader. He's a prophet of African liberation, a figure who embodies the continent's dreams of sovereignty and dignity. At just 37, he has ignited a revolution that resonates from Ouagadougou to Nairobi, Johannesburg to Addis Ababa. His survival of assassination attempts testifies to his courage. As those who profit from Africa's subjugation fear his vision, Traoré's genius lies in his holistic approach. His patriotic education system liberates minds, teaching youth to reject neo-colonial narratives and embrace their African identity. By introducing compulsory military and civic training, he ensures students are not just scholars, but disciplined builders of their nation. His elite schools, polytechnics, and technological universities will train engineers, scientists, and innovators to serve Burkina Faso, halting the brain drain that has bled Africa dry. Economically, Traoré is rewriting the script. By canceling corrupt road tenders inflated up to 100 times, he saved billions and invested in state-owned machinery. Young Burkinabe now construct their own roads, keeping wealth and expertise in-country. His agricultural initiatives, training youth in modern farming, boost food security. While factories built by locals signal industrial growth, these aren't promises, they're realities, visible in Burkina Faso's transforming landscape. Traoré's inclusivity sets him apart. Women are central to his revolution, trained as equals in military camps and technical schools. This echoes Sankara's empowerment of women, ensuring half the population drives progress. His humility, sharing stories of selling donuts as a youth, inspires ordinary Burkinabe, proving leadership is about service, not privilege. Globally, Traoré is a symbol of defiance. Western media mislabels his policies as militarization, but Africans see hope. His slogan, "Homeland or Death," echoes in the diaspora. From London to New York, uniting Black people worldwide, leaders in Mali, Niger, and beyond draw inspiration. While activists in the global South see parallels with their struggles, even progressive thinkers in the West admire his rejection of imperialist control. Traoré's vision aligns with Agenda 2063, proving Africa can lead its own development. He's not perfect, No revolution is, but his direction is clear, an Africa that defines itself, defends itself, and owns its story. He's a game changer, waking a sleeping giant. Africans must rally behind him, not out of blind loyalty, but because his blueprint works. From canceling corruption to building schools, Traoré is showing the world what Africa can be, a call to action. The choice is yours. Young Africans, if you don't succeed, your children or their children will. Don't despair. Whether you're from Uganda, Kenya, or beyond, no one has all the answers. Our solutions lie in collective action. Go to Kibera, Kawangware, and Kobangi, change minds. Be citizens, not idiots or tribalists. Demand good roads, schools, and security. Reject modern slavery, exporting youth to Myanmar or the Arab world. Remind leaders, they're not invincible. Mobutu fell. Bokassa fell. Bongo fell. Power is fleeting. Traoré's Burkina Faso is a spark. Let it ignite a continent-wide fire. Support his revolution, share his vision, and build an Africa that commands respect. Thank you, Mama Africa.